Hello, this is Dark Knight Apologetics. I am your host, Jeremy Knight. Stick around to the end of the video for a code word that you can put in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and enjoy the show. Okay. Hello, and this is a new video by Jeremy Knight. This video is 10 ways you can prove to yourself that the Earth is a globe. I am doing this video to show that I do understand the science, and because a lot of people have been requesting that I do a video proving that the Earth is a globe using science. If you have not seen my other videos, they are usually doing this from a religious point of view, and I might link them in the description. Okay? I only did this video so that people can stop asking me to do this video. Okay? People were wanting me to do a video like this, so I did one. Now that it's out, you can stop asking me to do it, okay? I would just like to mention that this will be my only video debunking Flat Earth from a scientific point of view. There are other people on the internet that do this way better than me. So if you want to watch that kind of stuff, go watch them. I'll do my thing, they'll do their thing, and the internet will be a much better place with people that can do this better than me. Okay? Okay, first up is number 10, lunar eclipses. A lunar eclipse obviously cannot happen on a flat Earth. And that is because, well, the Earth is not flat for one, but for two, it is because a lunar eclipse would be impossible on a flat Earth. Because you can tell by the way a lunar eclipse happens that in order to predict lunar eclipses, you need to use globe Earth models. There's no flat Earth model that can predict lunar eclipses. And our globe Earth models are always correct on predicting the lunar eclipse, probably because the Earth is a globe. And they are just correct because they're correct. The Earth is a globe. But anyways, my point here is that you can tell that the Earth is a globe by lunar eclipses because of the shadow that is produced on the moon. It's always circular. Only a sphere, only a globe would produce a shadow that is always circular. And since the shadow is the shadow of the Earth, and it's always circular, you can tell that the Earth must be a sphere from that shadow. Okay? Now, number 9. Ships going over the horizon. Now, before you give me any of your flat Earth excuses, just stop. None of them work. They all stupid. Okay? The reason ships going over the horizon show that the Earth is a globe and not flat is because, well, for one, the horizon cuts the ships into parts and the mast disappears last. That is not how it would happen if the Earth was flat. It just isn't. The ship disappears from the bottom up. That's an indicator that it's going over a curve. It is not an indicator that it's disappearing into the distance. If it was just disappearing into the distance, it would look completely different. It would just get smaller and smaller and smaller until you couldn't see it anymore. But that's not what we see in reality. What we see in reality is the ship sinking down bottom first, and then the mast disappears last. So that means that it's going over a curve, because it has to be, okay? Another thing I would like to point out about ships going over the horizon, so that I don't have flat earthers complaining about this in the comment section, is that if you can pull a camera out and bring the ship back into focus, it hasn't truly gone over the horizon yet. It's still in front of the horizon. If you can bring it back into focus, it is still in front of the horizon. Because if you can bring the ship back into focus with that camera, then you can watch it go over the horizon through the camera. And then once it's gone over the horizon through the camera, you're not bringing it back. You're not. Okay? Number 8, the night sky and stars. Okay, so if you're traveling south, you start to see different constellations. Constellations that you can't see in the north. And that's because there's a planet in the way. But anyways, even though there's a planet in the way of seeing those constellations, there's also another interesting trick that can only happen because the Earth is a globe. In the north, the stars rotate counterclockwise around Polaris. But in the south, they rotate clockwise around Sigma Octantis. You can't have that if the Earth was flat, because we have two axes of rotation in the night sky. We can't have that if the Earth was flat. Okay? These two rotational points in the night sky prove that the Earth is a globe. Also, another thing about the night sky that proves that the Earth is a globe is the moon. The moon flips upside down as you head south. That's not the only thing that flips upside down, so do all the constellations. They also flip upside down. That also proves that the Earth is a globe. Another thing that proves that the Earth is a globe is that we have seasonal constellations. So, yeah, that proves that we're going around the sun, because some of our constellations are seasonal. So, yeah, the constellations do change as we go around the sun, because some of them are seasonal. Okay? Next up is number 7. The Eratosthenes experiment. This is the one with the sticks in the grounds and the shadows. You can calculate the circumference of the Earth from this. You can also calculate the diameter of the Earth from this. You can get a pretty good estimate of those two things from this experiment. And it's a pretty good experiment for proving that the Earth is indeed a globe, because you can't get shadows of different distances on a flat Earth. The shadows of different lengths can only happen on a globe because all the shadows are parallel. All the light coming in from the sun is parallel. This means that the shadows can only be different because if the Earth is a sphere. That makes sense, right? Yeah, I think that makes sense. Anyways, Eratosthenes' experiment proves that the Earth is a globe, because once you take into factors of more than just 2 points, you can't escape the fact that the Earth is a globe from this experiment. Okay? Number 6 is the crow's nest effect. And this is how you can see further as you get up higher. As you get up higher in out in elevation, you can see further and the horizon is further out. As you get lower in elevation, the horizon is closer to you. This is only possible if the Earth is a globe. It would not make sense to be able to see further on a flat Earth. Okay? It only makes sense on a globe. This proves that the Earth is indeed a globe, because you can see further as you climb up higher. Okay? Another interesting thing that happens is if you lay down and watch the sunset, you can see it set once, and then if you stand up, you can see it set again. This also happens if you just simply watch the sunset while standing on the ground, and then you can climb higher and watch it set again. That's also proof that the Earth is indeed a globe. Also, when the sun sets, it's cut in half by the horizon. It's cut into portions by the horizon. This is similar to ships going over the horizon. Well, duh, that also proves that the Earth is a globe. There's also the fact that the sun never changes in size. If you have a filter on your camera, and you're not just looking at glare, because, yeah, as you get rid of the glare, of course the glare is going to go away, making it look like it's shrinking, because, well, what's shrinking is the glare. That's what's shrinking. It's not the actual size of the sun. Put a solar filter on your camera, you idiot. Okay? If you put a solar filter on your camera and you film the sun throughout the day, it's going to stay the same size in the sky throughout the entire day. Okay? And that proves that the Earth is indeed a sphere, because you wouldn't have that happening on a flat Earth. Okay? This also happens with the moon. Okay? Okay, number 5, airplanes. If you're up in an airplane, you can see the curvature from the windows. Not usually in the small windows that they give us as passengers, but if you're allowed to go into the cockpit, then you can see the curvature through that window. Because those small windows that they give us as passengers are usually too small to actually see curvature. You need a bigger window. You need what the pilots get. The pilots can definitely see the curvature. Okay? So yeah, you can see the curvature when you're up in an airplane. Another thing is airplanes can circumnavigate the globe. They can circumnavigate the globe east to west, and they can circumnavigate the globe north to south. And airplanes have done that, both east to west and north to south. So they've done equatorial circumnavigation, that's east to west, and they've done polar circumnavigation, that's north to south. So yeah, you can't do that type of circumnavigation if the Earth was flat. Circumnavigation proves that the Earth is indeed a globe. Okay? Another thing about airplanes is the reason that airplanes don't have to dip their nose in order to go over the curvature is because of gravity. Gravity takes them over the curvature for them. Gravity does that. They keep their nose pointed upwards to maintain the altitude that they're flying at. They keep their nose pointed upwards at all times by 3 degrees. And this is to maintain the altitude that they are flying at. The only time that nose comes down is when they're diving or landing, because they need to make that nose come down in order to dive the plane into a lower altitude, and they sometimes need to lower the nose in order to land. Note I said sometimes, because most of the time the nose stays up even when landing. Okay? So, yeah. That's the way it works. Okay? So yes, being up in an airplane does prove that the Earth is indeed a globe. Okay? The four forces that work on an airplane when in flight are lift, thrust, drag, and gravity. Lift is what makes the plane go up. Drag is what pulls the plane back. Thrust is what pushes the plane forward. And gravity is what pulls the plane down. These four forces work on anything that is in flight, whether it be a plane, a bird, an insect, or a paper airplane. These four forces are at work. Okay? Okay, now on to number 4, other planets. Other planets are spheres, so we can assume that the Earth, since it is also a planet, is also a sphere. If the other planets are spheres, then so is the Earth. Okay? That also proves that the Earth is indeed a sphere. You also have the Galilean moons of Jupiter, which kind of drilled the deathbed for geocentrism, because you can't have moons orbiting another planet if everything is geocentric. So, no geocentrism, no flat Earth, everything's good. Remember that, okay? Okay. Now on to number 3, time zones. Time zones prove that the Earth is a globe, because the Earth rotates at 15 degrees per hour. That's 0.000694 RPM. So yeah, it's not even rotating 1 revolution per minute. It's rotating way slower than that. So yeah, 15 degrees per hour. Your time zones occur because of this rotation. And because of this rotation, the sun shines differently in different time zones. It rises and sets differently in different time zones, and all of this stuff would not be possible on a flat Earth. Okay? Yeah, time zones prove that the Earth is a sphere. Okay. Number 2, gravity. Gravity proves that the Earth is a sphere. Because, well, gravity wouldn't exist on a flat Earth, and gravity makes things pull to the center of the Earth, and if something is sufficiently massive enough, gravity crushes it into a sphere. So yeah, gravity proves that the Earth is a sphere. We know that gravity exists because we have things that can measure gravity. And all our instruments work due to gravity. If gravity wasn't there, our instruments would not work, and nothing would work. Our planes would not be able to fly, and basically nothing would work. Our satellites wouldn't stay in orbit, nothing would work. Gravity proves that the Earth is a sphere. Okay? Okay. And finally, number 1, photos from space. Now, I know the usual charge from flat earthers that all the photos from space are CGI. Well, here's the thing. Some of those photos were actually taken before CGI was even invented. So, yeah, that excuse doesn't work. And all the photos from space show what now? Oh yeah, that the Earth is a sphere. So yeah, photos from space proves that the Earth is a sphere. We have photos that show that the Earth is a sphere, okay? Flat Earth is dead. Okay. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. And also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. Links to Twitter and Discord will be in the description. This is the Dark Knight Apologist, and I just wanted to say, see you next time.